Hey everyone, welcome to Swimming in Stars Astrology. This is part of our informational video series. Get lots of questions on how-tos. So this is a how to create a chart for you and your partner, a couple different ways online for free. And if all of this is too much and too crazy, please just private message me. I have a chart creating service for 10 bucks. I can create the chart of you and your partner very beautifully and no stress to you. But those of you that are interested in learning, let's get right to it. I'm going to take you to a website that I have used for over 20 years. It's called astro.com. I'm going to just go ahead and share the screen with you. And so basically, it's Astrodienst. And what you can do here is create charts for free. You can also create your own account. So I'm going to just show you here. If you go to My Astro, right here you can create a free registered user profile. I highly suggest doing that. You can also do it as a guest user too. I just logged in and tried it as a guest user as well because I've never done that feature. And it'll sort of save your stuff as you're working on the web for you. But if you're going to enter all the data, you might as well save it, is how I feel. I know that takes a little longer, but you can actually store, I can't remember if it's 20 or 30 charts on here and go back and create all kinds of cool combined charts with them. So if you don't have your own personal astrology program and you want to do more than just one chart one time and take a screenshot of it, I highly recommend this program. So we're just going to go ahead and go to login. I'm going to log in under my account. It works the same if you want to go ahead and create your own profile. It just takes a little bit longer time. So I'm going to leave this guest user profile. I'm going to log in under EP. Once you log in, there's all this different stuff that you can do. Of course, they have stuff you can purchase, but for free, right down here, you can see I have like a ton of astro data saved. And we're going to go ahead and if you wanted to just create your own chart, it would start with just asking you your birth info. So if I just click here on my information, all the possible charts come up, and what you want to always do is the extended chart selection. The quick drawing with Ascendant is great, but the extended chart selection, you have a lot more choice in how it looks. And so here we go. I've got myself, and it looks like Christina Aguilera. I was going to put it with Beethoven because I thought that would be a good synastry chart. E.P. Archer and Beethoven. Okay, and then it's going to ask you all of these confusing questions down here and ask you like lots of stuff. You don't have to customize anything when you're first getting started. Just do the basic of everything. And so if I hadn't had other people entered, what I would do right there is I could add a new person instead of Beethoven, right? And it could just be like, Lada D. And we'll just say it's a female, and we'll say it's a Capricorn born on the 10th of January in 1965, 6 a.m. and 6 minutes. And let's say that person's born in Conifer. And then you can click here for show or hide extended settings. There's a partner reference thing. If you are female to female or male to male partnership, it's kind of cool. You can click that box. When you do interpretations, it will rewrite the pronouns. Now, all that to say, they don't have any non-binary in here. So if you have any kind of diversity in your sexual orientation, gender, all of that stuff, it's not that great. But if you're female, female, or male, male, there is at least that little thing. And if I put this in as a male, I can also do that, which is kind of cool. Okay, so anyway, here's Lada D. And then we'll go ahead and say continue. And I always do automatic time zone because we don't want, I don't know, I don't like to mess with that. If you're Virgo or very mercurial, super smarty, go ahead and mess with the time zone, but I like to just do it automatic. So once I enter my birth stuff for Lada D, I can go ahead and do a chart with myself and Lada D or myself and whoever's kind of saved. I'm doing just a natal chart wheel here, so I want to change that to partner charts, and they have them all kind of listed, which is kind of cool. So a synastry chart is going to be the two charts with one in the middle and one on the outside, and then you can also do this, a natal chart with the partner outside. So let me show you that one. So when you do natal chart with the partner outside, this, if any of you have done transit charts, that's what this looks like. It sort of looks like on the inside is me and on the outside is Beethoven, but it looks like Beethoven's sort of transiting me and his part is really small. So it's a little bit trickier to read. The other way that they have it is back to the chart selection. The other way that they have it is just a synastry chart, and that looks like this. So you can see it's a bit bigger. Each person has sort of their own section. So in this picture, the very outer wheel are the planets, or excuse me, the signs. The second inner wheel is Beethoven, and then this is me, and then the very inner wheel is our synastry. It's where we have angles that are sort of matching up and meeting up. And then down here, it will give my birth chart information for me. If we want to have tables for both of them, I think there's a way of accessing that too. So let's go back to the chart selection again. Okay, cool. So, and then just so you guys know, there's also, synastry is just my natal chart and your natal chart, sort of like the circles together so we can read them both together. But if you wanted to do something called a composite chart, that's where they sort of take the average of your signs. They find midpoints between your placements, and they make this completely new chart that isn't yours and isn't your partner, but is sort of like a composite of the energy or an average of the energies. There's two methods for that. One is just called a composite, and one is called a Davidson, because I guess Davison, excuse me, didn't like the way they calculated it. So there's always, you know, new ways of calculating things. And so you can do a composite chart, and there's different methods. Like I said, when you're first learning, just always select the first one, the default one. So we're just going to do the midpoint method here, and I'm going to click to show the chart. And there it is. So our combined chart, we are a Sagittarius with a Mercury in Sagittarius, a Pluto at 0 degrees Sagittarius and North Node in Scorpio, Saturn and Uranus in Leo in the 7th house. It's a pretty cool relationship. I just, you know, I'm kind of liking my Beethoven synastry here. And then this will be all the angles. So you can see when you do a composite or a Davison, it's going to just look like one chart. It's not going to have your chart or theirs. It's a completely different thing. And I like to use these for extra added insight, especially if you've already done the synastry and you're looking for more answers. I wouldn't go to this as my go-to for my first thing that I do with a partner, but I love to use it like for added energy. Okay, so let's go back once again. I want to go ahead and show you some things that you can edit here. So let's go back to the regular synastry chart. And I just did web default style. You could also add the asteroids if you want. And then the house system, we'll just do default. Default is Placidus, tropical, geocentric. If you do sidereal or if you do Vedic, it's different settings, but I'm just going to show here for just the average Western astrology settings. So tropical, geocentric, you don't need to change that. And I actually like to use porphyry houses. It's a little bit more decipherable, I think. And it's also just, yeah, the favorite astrologer that I studied with used it. So I'm kind of like liking it for destiny and life path and metaphysical chart readings. It's been helpful for me. But I encourage you to experiment with house systems. You may find if you change your house system that you and your partner have a different alignment in different places, and that can be really cool too. Okay, so then there's all these other options. If you know about, if you know about Chiron and you want to do aspects to Chiron, I highly suggest Chiron for partner charts. I think it's really important. And also aspects to lunar nodes is really important. I use the True Node. And then you can also add, look down here, you can add, a bunch of parts. You can do the part of fortune, the vertex, Lilith, all the goddess asteroids if you want. And so now when I click to show this chart, I've added a few extra little points to it. And then some of you might not know this, but if you actually just click on the chart, it opens a new window with just that. And this is where you want to save your picture. So on a computer, you're going to control click or right click and then save the image. And you can do that as a ping, or if you're on your phone, you can just, hard click or however you save on your phone. And that picture is usually easier to read and easier to print than the one over here from the first page with all the other stuff on it. Cool. Okay, so that is how you create a synastry chart. And like I said, if you create a little account on here for free, you can always go back and edit and update things. This also, another feature here is you can do Astro Click is one of the things that they have where you can click on different parts of the zodiac. They also always have the current planets here, so you can always sort of like look up where the planets in the sky, and you can click here to go on the chart of the moment. When you start looking at your partner, you're going to also want to look at, you know, your partner's transits and your transits, because a lot of times that energy can really affect you. And then we've got two people's charts, and then transit chart and composite chart, and all of a sudden there's a lot of energy interacting. But that complexity is so matching of humans and trying to get to know each other. If it was really, really simple, then it wouldn't be as in depth. So I hope that helps. Astro.com is the website. I'm not paid by them or endorsed by them. It's just something that's been around, like I said, for a long time. And that does a lot of specific alterations and calculations that you might be interested in the future as you continue to study.